Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and right now I'm going to talk about how I increased my 40-yard dash in 1 month. Some background: this was 6 months after track season senior year. I ran 11.7 in high school, so I was pretty fast, although high jump was my main event. But I felt sprinting was such a cool movement, like it could save my life if I got jumped in an alley. So I wanted to get faster. The thing about sprinting and most things in life is if you don't use it, you lose it. I remember trying to sprint in a parking lot just to see how it would feel after the amount of time that had passed, and I just felt so washed. Even though I had been weight training, I lost my ability to sprint. This comes down to training residuals. According to research, you can lose max speed in just 5 days without training, and I had been going on months. Most of my muscle fibers were converted from type 2X to type 2, the explosive muscle fiber to the strength fiber. So as you can tell, I had a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. 1 month is usually a short mesocycle, which is when you focus on 1 or 2 aspects of training. However, I was using 1 month as a macrocycle, which is the combination of mesocycles over the course of a longer period of time. So I spent not a lot of time on any aspect, which makes it hard for my body to adapt. To start, I ran a 5:24 40-yard dash using the same recording system used in the NFL Combine. Just to note, I was running on turf with sneakers, so that definitely hindered my speed. I compared my weight to Olympic sprinters, and I realized I was on the higher end at 195 pounds, while being nowhere near as lean as those guys. I felt heavier than I ever had, and I even lost my bounce. I knew I'd have to fix my diet and start performing some type of cardio other than biking to work every day, which I didn't do. I'll throw in a disclaimer here. I did not train near optimally as I was learning during the process, and even after up to this point. And there are many things I would have changed throughout the training, but oh well. I really regret not cutting weight, since my theory is that if you can learn to live and move at 195 pounds, you'd be flying out 185. Frankly, I didn't take my diet seriously enough, eating pizzas and burgers and whatnot. I had a fast metabolism all my life, so the issue was always eating enough, not too much. Also, I was too lazy to do cardio. My bad. However, I did cut out sugary drinks, which took a lot of discipline. I also hit my daily protein requirement nearly every day. I aimed for 1 gram per pound of body weight, so at least 190 grams of protein daily. I also ate my carbs around when I was training to replenish my glycogen stores and give me energy to work out. And the last macronutrient, fat, I tried to eat more of it not around my training window since it slows digestion. However, I value fats greatly since healthy fats regulate your hormone levels. Obviously, due to the law of specificity, the best way to get better at sprinting is sprinting. I sprinted twice a week, and thinking back, it could have been 3 times a week, but not bad. Another thing was progressive overloading. So on the field, it meant gradually increasing my sprint distance volume. For instance, starting at a total volume of 200 yards of sprinting in one session, then 220 the next, and slowly working up to 300, which I read in a Derek Hansen article. That is the sweet spot for stimulus but not over fatigue. Best sprinting quality, I rested a minute for every 10 yards. So if I was running 10 yards, I'd rest a minute. If I'd run 20 yards, I'd rest 2 minutes, and so on. I also made sure to warm up properly since I was running outside in the cold. In the weight room, it meant more weight on the bar, and I realized the importance of taking slow progressions with 2.5 pounds on each side rather than not progressing at all or adding weight with insufficient form. I use a high-low model of training, which is when you have days of training hard and then days of training lightly, rather than training somewhere in the middle throughout the week. So on my lower body days, I did plyometrics between my sprint session and my weight room lifting. This would be a high day. My plyometrics included skips, hops, jumps, and different angles. I particularly liked broad jumping, as the movement of the body during this movement looks pretty similar to that of sprinting. I also was training in the athletes gym at JMU, so the equipment was all athletic. By that I mean free weights prioritized over machines. To be an athlete, you're not supposed to train like a bodybuilder. However, looking back, I did train my upper body a little bit much like a bodybuilder because I'm trying to be big. I did not work out my core, as I believe my core was being engaged enough with squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, chin-ups, dips, and the many other exercises. Speaking of deadlifts, I increased my deadlift by 80 pounds during this span, which I'm happy with, but probably not the most athletic movement, and I think I could have been replaced with something more explosive like Olympic lifts or push press. I'm not a power lifter, so there's no need for me to do all that. I also tried to limit junk volume, which is extra stress put on the body that just fatigues you more. So I trained more minimalistically than I ever had, and I think that had benefits as I didn't ever get too fatigued. A technique I used to connect strength, speed, and speed strength was potentiating sets. I like doing deadlifts and going into med ball broad jumps, and then squats going into assisted squat jumps. Outside of training, I heavily prioritize sleep, sleeping 8 to 9 hours every night. Sleep is so essential to athletic performance, in my opinion, as it prevents injuries, regulates hormones, helps with muscle recovery, and reduces exhaustion in general. I also limited my alcohol intake significantly while being at a college, which I'm very proud of. I just think in general, good habits have numerous benefits, so make good habits habits. In the end, I got a result of running a 5.204 40-yard dash, so I cut off almost 3/100ths of a 100-meter while training suboptimally. So I'm very happy with those results, but I definitely could have done better. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and suggest something for me to do next.